for me, options trading started long ago, over 30 years, trading commodity options and commodity futures. And the options side of it really kind of got to me. It was a way to figure out how to trade puts and calls and spreads and make money regardless of what was happening around me. I think one of the biggest things that I take away from the options market is that having to pick a direction is not the only way to make money. Most people who invest today, whether that's stocks or outright buying calls and puts, you really have to rely on being able to pick a stock's direction and get that direction right in order to make money. Most of us are there to buy stocks, and if the stock goes up, great, we win. If the stock goes down, we lose. And it's really just a very black and white way of trading. You either win or you lose, and there's not much more to it than that. And that could be very disheartening if you invest a lot and you get the direction wrong and you lose money. It's not a lot of fun. So what the options market can do for you is to allow you to not have to rely on direction alone in order to make a profit from options trading. And the way to typically do that is by using option selling strategies, whether that's straight up put selling, selling credit spreads, selling iron condors. I know Dan does a lot of those trades, and he's told me that a lot of you are pretty familiar with most of those types of strategies. So I love selling options. That's probably 99% of what I do. I sell puts. I sell a lot of naked puts. I sell put spreads. The only real type of option buying strategies that I do is buying deep in the money calls, which is, one of the strategies in my book. If you see the book behind me here, that's the book Dan was talking about. In my opinion, there's really only 4 strategies that the average investor really needs to know about. And if you're bullish and you want to take a long position, you can substitute buying a deep in the money call instead of buying the stock. And then you can sell another call against it, which would act like a covered call in a way. We call it the poor man's covered call. I think some of you may know about that strategy. And so Dan and I were talking, and I wanted to be able to give you some ideas of some of the trades that I do. So I ran some things by Dan, and he thought, that would be kind of cool if we talked about some of that. There's a strategy of buying deep in the money call spreads, which to me, it's all about probability in the market, in the stock market, options market. It's all about probability. Will the stock go from point A to point B in X amount of days? And these probability calculators can pretty much tell you, what odds do you have of a stock getting from point A to point B? And when you buy a deep in the money call spread, let's say the stock is here, you're buying call spreads on strike prices that are down here that they already have the probability behind them. If the stock keeps going up in the direction that you think it will, that deep in the money spread will just widen out to the width of the spread itself. So you already have like a kind of like a locked in profit in a way that as long as the stock doesn't tail back down on you harshly, you're going to make money. So I like to play with the probabilities quite a bit. And, buying options to me is really such a hard way to consistently make money over time. A lot of people come to me, they don't have a lot of experience in the market, and they've seen other things on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, whatever, and they see these people, guys and gals, I can't say whether they're pretending or not, but they're showing off ways to make money every single day, like lots of money. And, after you try these things for a while, it really doesn't work. There's a lot of hype there. Trying to day trade, trying to make money directionally in the market every single day is tough, and it can grind you down and it wears you down. I have not met many people that can do that for a living, where they're outright buying calls and puts and making money day after day to I'd say to make that their only sort of job. It's a hard slog, but some people can do it. I know Dan here, he's making money. with his trades. So that's good. But to me, really, it's all about the probabilities, and buying these deep in the money call spreads is really a great way to do that. So let me share my screen here for a second, and we can kind of look at some things.